come up with some groundbreaking innovation for our customers. That's the vision that we have today. As you will see in the center, there are 9 purpose-built rooms equipped with the best of technologies and brainstorming aids for us to really visualize your digital roadmap and aid you in executing it. That's the vision for the center that we have. It's also actually intended to be an on-demand training center, so that the idea is that we can bring together members of academia, members of government, members from industry to really upskill Indian citizens in the next generation of digital skills. That's the vision that we have. I want to spend a moment talking about the world that we find ourselves in today and the role that ServiceNow plays in it. As we all know, we live in a very volatile, dynamic, and complex world, right? And things keep changing. There are a lot of pressures on any organization from the outside, from the inside, when it attempts to deliver a good or a service in a quality manner to its end customers, right? And here, technology is one of the great transformers and also one of the great deflationary forces that an organization can use to improve productivity, to have greater growth, to actually use resources more efficiently, right? And that's what we believe. That's what we believe our mission in ServiceNow is. But the question that we most often find from our customers and partners is, any technology involves change. And how do we manage this change within our organizations by bringing in technology in a smooth and seamless manner? And that's really where the Now platform from ServiceNow absolutely shines, because it's our promise of innovation without disruption, of bringing people collaboratively together, of creating a platform where innovation can happen, and at the same time, it can actually happen in an absolutely secure and safe digital forward environment. And that's really the promise of ServiceNow to all our customers and partners and all the people who collaborate with us. In conclusion, I'd like to say that India actually has the promise of becoming the digital hub for the world going forward into the future. And we are all part of that journey. With India's skills and India's technologies, we can actually transform the way the world works. And ServiceNow's promise is to bring our best solutions and technologies together, bring together people from academia, from industry and government to really realize the vision of the Digital India initiative. Thank you very much.
We in ServiceNow India represent about 15 to 20% of the global employee workforce. However, Hyderabad is the single largest site by employee headcount for this company. Now, with the opening of this innovation center, what we are trying to do is trying to help collaborate with our customers and partners so that we can dream, innovate, and build products that can help digitize businesses of the large enterprise in the country, in the region at scale. We have about 30,000 employees working in our global partner base in India on ServiceNow platform. And they are the strength that help us work with our customers to kind of digitize the enterprises across not only India, but across the globe. We as a company have committed to be a $16 billion by revenue by 2026. That's $16 billion. And we can only do that if when India works, the world works. Because one of the largest product development innovation incubation site is right here where you are sitting. We not only innovate and incubate, we build world-class products from here. We have our regional support center here. We have data center here. We do cloud operations here. So this is a great opportunity for us to collaborate with government, with customers and partners in the region to make meaningful impact across the globe. One of the things that we talk about to achieve this mission is to bring in more skills in the marketplace. We have a program called Rise Up with ServiceNow that has aimed and strived to bring 1 million trained skill workforce by 2024 globally. Now, closer to home in India, we have partnered with 10 universities and multiple government skilling initiatives to be able to build and bring to those who do not have typical an opportunity to get into this digital workforce stream. We hope that by the end of this year, we will have the first batch of about 5,500 trained, skilled workforce brought on that can help our customers and partners and government bodies onto the ServiceNow platform. Now, while we build great products, we innovate here, ServiceNow as a company also believes in giving back to the community that we work and operate in. One of the things that I'm very proud of this center and our employee base is employees in this center has adopted 5 villages in Telangana. And the reason these are special villages is because they were identified by the government as particularly vulnerable tribal areas where less people go venture to do community service. Our employees, in partnership with our NGO partners, have adopted those villages and have improved their livelihoods by doing simple stuff like health camps and borewell for water and transportation and waste management systems and sanitation systems, etc. Because we believe that when our employees work to build products that can change the face of technology and the industry tomorrow, we also need to work to change the face of the communities that we live and operate in. So with your support, with the support of the government, support of our esteemed customers and partners, ServiceNow continues to strive to make the world work better for everyone. Thank you. Now I will invite Shri Jayesh Ranjanji to come and say a few words and grace the occasion.
Thank you, Kamalika ji, Mr. Sumit, Mr. Dilip, Jillian, all the senior leaders from ServiceNow. Many congratulations for inauguration of your Innovation Center. Every time I come here, I was trying to recollect, I have come here 3 times before. And every time I come to this facility, I feel more and more impressed by what new you have added to. I remember I was here when this facility was inaugurated. And twice I have come when students who had been trained by ServiceNow were receiving their certificates. And this is yet another memorable occasion for me. We feel immensely proud at all your achievements. Mr. Mathur just mentioned how not only have you grown in terms of numbers, but the kind of quality work, the kind of high quality work which happens out of this facility makes all of us very proud. In fact, we have met your senior leadership in the past as well. In fact, as recently as in January, we met your Chief Strategy Officer, Nick Cizon, in Davos, and he recounted how proud they are about the contribution which this center makes. You have multiple centers across the world, but he was particularly speaking very highly on how the productivity of this center, the contribution of this center, he was rating it as amongst the best amongst all the global ServiceNow centers. Many years ago, I was actually trying to check when did that happen, and I found it in my mail. We had received your the then CEO, John Donahoe also. He had come to Hyderabad. I found out that he had come in 2018, and we had met him. And at that time also, he was very bullish about this center. He was speaking about, I just ran through the mail that I had sent to him at the end of our meeting and the reply he had given. And he was also speaking about some very optimistic plans on how he wants to grow that center. So today to see all that becoming a reality is very gratifying. As Sumit pointed out, this is possibly your second largest footprint anywhere in the world outside your headquarters in California. And the fact that you are bringing newer and newer things is something to be very happy about. Innovation Center is a wonderful addition to the overall innovation landscape of this city. And I would also urge upon you, the team that will look after this innovation center, to also become a part of that larger ecosystem. In fact, not very far from here is T-Hub. And while T-Hub is the jewel in our crown, there are 70 such innovation spaces. And we follow something very unique for our country. We follow what is called a whole of the city approach. So all these 70 innovation spaces that we have, they kind of work collaboratively in unison. The SOPs, the programs that they offer, by and large, are similarly structured. So regardless of where a young entrepreneur and innovator is located, he gets more or less the same value. The amazing thing about technology world today is that the pace of digitalization has gone very, very fast. As I said, we were in the last 7 months since January. I personally have been to different parts of the world, including the US, Europe. I was in China recently. And earlier, we used to notice only large companies, the Fortune 500 ones, who are bullish on technology, who are innovating, who are bringing new products and solutions, either by themselves or through capable providers like ServiceNow. But what I noticed was that the desire to master technology, to embed as much technology as possible, is also happening in mid-scale companies, small companies, niche companies. No one wants to be left behind. And this message is very clear that if you don't adopt technology, you will be just pushed away. You will become an extinct kind of a enterprise. So in that rapid pace of digitalization, innovation, of course, plays a very important role, because the canvas has broadened so much that there is so much of things, new things to discover, new things to offer. And one amazing thing is that there is a huge amount of democratization of this innovation. Earlier, one would imagine that only the top tech companies can innovate. But today, even in a very humble kind of entrepreneur sitting somewhere remotely also can be struck with some brilliant idea. And we have seen many such examples. So what I would really urge upon you, I have seen this, and Mr. Mathur spoke about it in his speech also, that whatever you do, this is something which actually, in my eyes, makes you stand out from all these 1,500, 1,600 tech companies who are here in Hyderabad today, is the kind of a belief or that mindset that we should be more inclusive. I mean, while business and the bottom line and getting good returns, of course, is important, but how do you at the same time ensure that whatever good practices I have is passed on to everyone? How do I be more inclusive, more open in whatever I do? I have seen this in our skill development programs. Mr. Bhaskar, who is now with you, he used to look after this skilling programs and task. And I remember one good practice which task has imbibed is the concept of doing some level of scrutiny and filtering of the faculty resources who are eventually going to transmit your modules to the students. Earlier, we were not very particular about it. If a college shows up that they want to learn some particular module for their students, we would not really bother who that faculty is going to be to do that transfer of training. But we learned this from you, that how do you choose the right faculty, and the best suited faculty is also very important. If just some ordinary faculty is sent whose heart is not in the right place, there'll be huge amount of transmission losses, and eventually all the effort, the time, resources that we put in skilling the students, that may be eventually very suboptimal. So there are many good things that we have learned from us. And again, for innovation also, I do hope that the same ethos will prevail. You will enrich the ecosystem here. You will partner with institutions like the T-Hub. You will partner with academic institutions. You will even partner with federations of small businesses, mid-scale businesses, because while I do mention that they are also becoming more agile about using technology, not all of them have the wherewithal to use the best possible technology. So assisting them as a community, as a collective, also will matter quite a lot to us. And again, this is something very remarkable when you mentioned that your giving back initiatives is not just a symbolic kind of thing. It is not just a tokenism. This actually is a very great example for me to share subsequently, because on behalf of the government, I also look after philanthropy, charity. In India, they call it CSR, the Corporate Social Responsibility. So I'm also the principal secretary for that. But exactly what you kind of alluded to, while large number of companies are generous enough to support social development projects, support people who are vulnerable, we do notice that most of it gets clustered in and around Hyderabad. Maybe it is kind of easy to just drive maybe 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away, and kind of tick a box that I've done something. But to find a remote area, a kind of a distant area, and identify felt needs, identify priorities. And when you say that I have adopted 5 villages in totality, I presume that you are going to take care of all their requirements there. So again, a very good example, very, very good example. My kind of congratulations to this particular thought that let us go far and let us go deep as well. So wonderful. And I do hope that you will continue to grow in Hyderabad. You will continue to grow in our state. We have, for those of you who do not live here, you unfortunately don't live here. But let me share this with you that amongst all the comparable cities in India, the fastest tech growth, the most conducive environment of doing tech activities is today offered by Hyderabad. In fact, one very big testimony is that in the last year and the year before that, last 2 years, of all the tech jobs which were added in the country, the highest numbers were contributed by Hyderabad. Last year, almost 44%. Literally every second job which came up in this country came up in Hyderabad, and the previous year approximately 1/3, 33%. So this also is a very strong testimony that companies who have come here have found the going to be very great, both in terms of talent, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of social infrastructure, support of the government. I would also like to share this. I'm sure you would have benefited from it. During COVID, whether the government is proactive or it just gives lip service, that was really tested. You will recall that lockdown happened. It happened in India in March 2020, the first lockdown, on the 20th March to be precise. And it was a very hurried kind of a lockdown. Our Prime Minister came on television the previous evening and announced that everything is going to be shut. And obviously, the tech world can't be shut like that. You have global commitments, you have clients, you have work in progress. And then this idea that everyone can work from home came throughout the country. But again, the transition from work from office to work from home was not a very easy thing to accomplish. It was a very tough lockdown, as I said. Police were given the instructions to shut everything down. But I can share this with you. And industry bodies like NASSCOM, etc., acknowledge it openly that the smoothest transition anywhere from office to home happened here in Hyderabad. And and I was involved in it. I was in the thick of it. I can share this with lots of pride that we took just 5 days to ensure that in those days there were approximately 650,000 IT sector employees. Everyone was moved. Many of them had homes in rural areas. Many of them, of course, live somewhere in the vicinity, but with their hardware, with approvals, permissions, everything was done quite efficiently. And that is one area in which the respect for the government, the support that the government gives, particularly during times of crisis, during times of need, that was very clearly, very starkly highlighted. So we wish to capitalize on that goodwill. Whatever else you want to do to grow further in Hyderabad, we are happy to help you, support you. You are already familiar with tasks, skilling offerings. I told you about the rich innovation ecosystem. And one other thing I failed to mention, I should speak of it now. So I'm not making any exaggerated claim that this is the biggest innovation ecosystem in the country. If I make any claim, that will be untrue, because we know that in Bangalore, there is far, far bigger ecosystem. There are even bigger ecosystems in, let us say, Gurgaon, Pune, etc. But one thing that everyone comments about is that it is very easy to become a part of this ecosystem here, the innovation ecosystem here in Hyderabad, as compared to a Bangalore or a Gurgaon or a Pune. There you kind of struggle to find out. For example, you said that you want to work with the governments and promote innovation. Now, whom do you approach? How do you do that? Who could be your potential clients? Since you have started working on data centers, some of your public service work should be targeted to which particular agency. You will be kind of groping in the dark in many other cities. But here, it's a very seamless process. You just need to connect with the right person in T-Hub, and he will navigate the entire journey for you. Whatever public service work that you want to do, whatever tech work that you want to do. So very easy to become a part of this innovation ecosystem. So as I said, I feel very happy to be here. It's a nice coincidence that you are doing this on a Monday. I'll also say something. You'll notice that I'm not wearing any jacket. I'm looking very different from any one of you. But we do it deliberately on every Monday. Every Monday, we wear handloom clothes. And these are all made by weavers. who are from Telangana. They're making this for generations, but obviously, like many of those olden crafts and traditions, these are also kind of fading away. So our government has taken a decision that we will create demand for those products. And one of the easiest way to create a demand for those products is to become their customer yourselves. So all of us in government on every Monday, even if I had to meet the president of United States, I would not have worn a jacket. I would have gone in my handloom kind of dress. So I would also encourage you to kind of add handloom cloths. As you can see, this looks quite fashionable. At least to me, I feel that I'm kind of wearing some very high quality fashion. I mean, I may look odd, but I feel very proud that I'm kind of wearing handloom. So request your support also for these kind of local initiatives. And once again, thank you very much for inviting me. Good wishes to all of you.